From an execution standpoint, obviously you're always looking to get better, but with the exception of one time where we actually misaligned for a series because we had some new kids in our defense, we really shut them down defensively. Offensively, we executed pretty well, and the best part about it was I thought we managed the clock really well at the end of the second half to get more points, and I thought that we turned their turnovers into points. And I think we scored every time we were in the red zone, not always touchdowns, which we would like to have. And again, going back to special teams, I thought Johnny Messina and Brady Lawrence kicked it very well, and we even were able to get Matt Sweeney in there to have his first kicks and field goal, and he worked his tail off all summer to be able to do that. So it's always great when you can get more kids in. Morale's up better. They all practice a little harder, and then there's no substitute for game day speed experience, and we were able to get that last. What we wanted to make sure was we can run our base. We're an inside zone team. We're running a zone read team. One of the things that we've lacked over the last couple of years is a personality and an identity. And so I think they wanted to make sure that we established that identity, and I think we took a big step. Our offensive line is older, stronger. I think our schemes are better fitting their talent levels, and I think we're doing a better job of taking advantage of what the defense is part of the defense sometimes lacks behind the offense. They always generally catch up. And so I think we were kind of experiencing that on offense, and we hadn't been doing a good job. I hadn't been doing a good job of making adjustments, and so we were able to do that. The other thing that's much better run game wise is our running backs are more synchronized with the offensive line. And there's a timing, there's a flow, there's a rhythm to offense. And we were out of sync with physicalness and a toughness level that you have to have in the offensive line. And I think that toughness and that character work ethic, bringing your hard hat and lunch pail every day, starts in the offensive line, but it tends to permeate throughout your whole team. And if our offensive line sets an example for everybody about the physicalness and the toughness, and hey, we're going to find a way to get it done, even if they know what we're going to do. If that attitude can prevail there, it ends up infecting. This is the first time we met every defensive goal that we had set, and I think the key was to the win was off turnovers. We got two, and we did not have any. That's number one, and then explosive plays. We were able to win those, and then when you win those two statistics, ratio-wise, your team to others, usually about 98% effective. It's winning on first down, and that's another big thing. We've got to hold them to less than 4. We need more than 4, and that goes back to the run game. That's where we've really been putting a lot of our focus, and we were able to execute that on Saturday. And I'm actually paranoid about week 2 because we have not done a good job of stringing 2 good games together. We haven't handled success very well, and frankly, as coaches, we've been very hard on this week. When you're doing anything for a long-term goal, the hardest thing to do is discipline yourself, and that means put in the amount of time, do the film study you need to, do the work ethic, make sure that you're not taking too much rest, making sure that you continue to work at peak performance, because when you have a great win like last week, you kind of think, I got this, I don't have to do this, and so This week we've been very hard on them, and our kids were tough early, and of course now that with classes going, we've gone to the morning practices, and practicing at 6:30 in the morning, waking up at 5 is not easy, and so we're battling that this week to get back into that routine. But so far so good. I think the practices, Wednesday and Thursday have been much improved over Monday and Tuesday, and hopefully we can carry that into the game. Well, defensively, they run a lot of different fronts, a lot of different coverages. They're moving around, they're stemming, and so that's going to be a concern. We've got to be very disciplined in our techniques, and we've got to also, going back to our Navy SEAL type culture, when things get very chaotic and it's chaos, you got to relax, look around, make a call, go back to your training. And so we've really tried to have our rules this week offensively, make sure that it incorporates a what ifs. Okay, if they're here and they do this is how we handle it. If they're moving a certain way, this is how we handle it. Have a few more checks in the game plan this week based on how they line up, because we don't know. They're not as consistent as Point was last week. Offensively for Waldorf, I'm very concerned. They have more kids from Florida, I think, than we have, and their offensive skill is very good. They have a kid named Bo Evans who has over 300 yards in return yards, and he can go the distance anytime he touches the ball as a running back. They have a wide receiver, I can't remember his name, number 7, but he transferred in from the University of Minnesota. 6'3", 209 pounds, and he just goes up and gets it.
Don Jones?
Yeah, he can do it. I like him a lot. And then they have the quarterback, he's a little kid from Miami who, I say little, he's 5'10", but he doesn't hold the ball, he gets rid of it quickly. They gave up 4 sacks the first week. I think they only gave up 1 last week, so he's made the improvement, and he certainly showed the improvement from that first game to second game that you normally talk about. He can run it well, he can pass it well, and he passes it, he picks the matchup, and if he gets, they do a good job of getting that receiver I talked about matched up with inferior person, and they throw it up to him, and he goes up and wins. And so we still got to win first down. We still got to make sure we shut down the run, and we're going to have to commit an extra person to the box all the time to make sure that we're option sound because of the running ability. He's been at Doane. I think he's been at Waldorf for 2 years. Prior to that, Doane had a lot of success. Doane's ranked number 2 in the country. Not to give a plug to my old university, but go Tigers. But they have a very good scheme, and they're doing a lot of the same things that we do. A lot of the same things that everyone in the country with spread people out, running the zone read, running the RPOs on the outside, and they really stretch the field and force some matchups and one-on-ones that you don't, when you're playing good defense, you always like to outnumber people, and they don't let you do that very much. Bryson is one of those guys that plays with his hair on fire all the time, and he's a big physical kid. He loves the contact. And so, and he also won the Special Teams Award winner too, so he'll be wearing Nick Blakely's jersey this week at number 37 in honor of Nick, who was going to be a great special teams player for us. He just runs down the field. He's a disruptor. He's relentless. He plays to the echo of the whistle all the time. He's everything that you want characteristic-wise of mental toughness, commitment to his team, does what you ask him to do, and then goes a little bit farther. Always is given 100%, no matter if it's practice or whatever. Every rip that he's in, he's getting better, and he's going to make that guy going against him get a little bit better too. And Saturday night, he was going around and he was just knocking people back on the kickoff cover team. And that's a unique thing because you're going full speed, and sometimes you want to protect yourself. You slow down Bryce. He goes right through it. He's on all our special teams with our punt team. He's a great pass protector, a great blocker. As they're coming, and he gets down the field and makes the tackle is what he does. So, and then defensively, we actually moved him to defensive end. He's extremely quick. He's a little undersized, but he uses his quickness and, frankly, his just hard work ethic to disrupt offenses. Jareem, we're really excited about the future of Jareem. As soon as he actually weighs 115 pounds, we'll be all set. He's a little slight, but he's got great vision. He's got great instincts. He's worked very hard his pass protection, which is one of the concerns given how light he is. But he's got a quickness, and there was one play after we'd gotten a turnover where he runs the ball for about 14, and then the next play he takes it in the end zone, but he must have hit about 15 guys, and then instead of running to the open grass and going to score, and he actually sought out another guy to hit, made it tougher. So we hope he learns to not do that, but again, he's got that ability to start, stop, accelerate. No one ever really gets a good hit on him because he's got such great body awareness and kinesthetic sense, and he just has great vision, and he ends up finding holes and creases because he's so patient, and he just has that quick acceleration that he can get through there when he needs to. First of all, we've got to overcome our tendency to think we've arrived, and we got to stay humble and hungry is what I told the team all week. Number two, we can't have any turnovers just like last week, and we need to turn them over. And they are -3 in turnovers right now over 2 games. That's crucial. And then lastly, we need to make that improvement that you talked about between the first and the second game, and continue to make sure that the team that steps off the field Saturday night is better than the one that stepped on the field. Looking for opportunities to continue to grow offensively and add certain things to the offense that we will need down the road going forward as we're facing better teams like Waldorf and as we go through that. And then defensively, we had a pretty good effort last week, but this is a much more athletic offensive line. They aren't tall, but they're big, and they're very athletic. They do a great job with their zone protection, moving their feet. So it's not going to be as easy to beat guys on slants, and so we've got to take that next step in our defensive line to make sure that we can stay in our gaps, and when we do blitz, that we get to the gap that we're supposed to and force them to add more to the protection or be a man short, or we can get to the quarterback.